Chapter 44. Using their spatial teleportation, we were instantly transported to the capital of Tempest Rimuru. I came to a complete halt, and my body began to tremble in panic. Because, we sense something we cannot comprehend. A power that is too great for the likes that even all countries combined will not stand a chance against him. I gaze up into the sky and see things I've never seen or dreamed of before. Their very presence was enough for me to place them well above the Demon Lord's disaster class. But who is it? There are only two catastrophic creatures on the Demon Lord Council, and the less polite one is the one I see in the sky. He is the very first and most powerful Demon Lord. Even spelling out his name frightens me. Why are they here? I thought to myself. This is sudden but a very dangerous situation. I look beside me. The other executives with me are grinding their teeth and clumping their weaponry. Oi oi oi, you know who that guy is, right? I think it is not a good idea to fight them. I suggested. We know that. Even though we are a battle species, we were not that stupid to fight that monstrosity above. However, we sense great hostility. Hekuro declared. No way. Guy Crimson, if he decided to obliterate Tempest, he means everyone including the inhabitants of Tempest. In the history books, his moves are always absolute and his decisions always come true. Because there is no being in this world that could stop him if decided to destroy something, it always comes true. It means, this country Tempest, is done for. Here they come. Two figures from the sky descended to the ground introducing themselves. The redhead was unmistakably that entity, while the little white-haired girl was. More significantly, everyone in Tempest understood my terror. It would be nice if we could keep things calm, but Hekuro and the others detected a strong bloodlust from Guy Crimson. We don't know what enraged him. Guy and his companion landed on the central plaza of Tempest. What's up? Guy muttered. I couldn't detect my brother or the dragon factor that we were looking for. It was a long way away, not on Tempest. There's a spark of dragon factor somewhere in this world. His companion answered. So Demon Lord Rimuru and that dragon factor were not related. Anyway, let's keep things rolling. Yo, I demand a higher up from this place. Guy Crimson shouted and Hekuro dashed in to politely welcome them. I am one of the executives of Tempest under Demon Lord Rimuru. How may I help you? Ho, how polite of you. Perhaps I can change my mind about destroying this place. Guy paused for a moment and hysterically laughed. Kahahaha, I'm kidding. The moment I stepped foot on this place, its fate was already set in stone. What? Hekuro and Guy are intently looking at each other. I don't have to give you all the specifics, do I? This place was exclusively to blame for all of the trouble in the world. So I decided to destroy it. Surely you jest. Kahaha, do not fret. I've seen many talents in this town that surpassed even powerful devils. Therefore, instead of wasting your talents by killing you, instead, I am gonna recruit you to my army. You, powerful guys, will now serve me. I am asking you one more time harmoniously to leave this place. And what if I don't? You'll be facing heavy consequences. Who exactly will punish me? I am the most powerful entity in this world. Therefore, I am above the law and order. Because I am the one who makes them. You are the very first creature to act hostile against me. I've sensed from afar that you do not want to settle things very civil. Therefore, there is no such thing as settling peacefully in the first place. Things escalated pretty quickly, and the situation was out of hand. Before Hekuro can open up his blade for the opening attack. You are planning on attacking, aren't you? Guy Crimson whispered from behind. Guy, who was standing far from Hekuro, instantly whispered. Hekuro leapt away. He opens his blade and looked behind. Guy was no longer there. Too slow. Guy whispered again behind Hekuro and he couldn't even follow Guy's movements. Hekuro has blasted away with a powerful spell. Hekuro-san, I shouted. Geld started to move. He stepped to the ground, causing the earth to quiver. Geld released homing leeches that wrought their victims' lives. However, Guy has been bitten by these leeches. Guy smirked and challenged Geld to drain his life. Geld had discharged the maximum output, but it had the opposite effect. He is draining Guy's life power at the same time. Geld is the one who is in ache. Guy was making certain that Geld was exposed to high demonic magicules, which are harmful to everyone in high concentrations. Geld's veins are stretched out due to the poisonous intake of magicules. Less than Geld stop. Greater than. At this moment, Tempest troops from all directions returned to Tempest and quickly realized the threat. They rushed to the area and joined the battle. Their body, on the other hand, is reacting hesitantly, as if their instincts are warning them not to meddle with the individual in front of them. When Benimaru saw the conflict, he raced in, striking his katana wrapped with golden flames. Ho, you are a demon lord class individual. Amazing, truly amazing. Tempest is a treasure trove. Guy strikes Benimaru's katana as if it were blunt. Guy finished Benimaru with a strong demonic energy blast after landing a 3-point combination blow to the torso. Even Tempest's superb executives were no match for one energy blast. It was self-evident, even if Tempest is a haven for numerous demon lord seeds, you're still not going to win against Guy Crimson. Guy is playing with everyone, and even though he is holding back, one strike from him results in the downfall of one executive. As he stated, he does not wish to waste their talents, so he is not killing them. But that is not true for this place. The executives will be safe and sound, but Tempest will be destroyed. And, as who he does not categorize a treasure will be killed. The situation was hopeless. Executives jumped to Guy from left to right, but they are greatly outmatched. Geld attempted to use every ability he had learned in the Bloomand as well as launch blows, but Guy deemed these blows worthless. Damn, to think that going to Tempest will get me killed. There are still executives left to fight them. But, in the end, they are no match for Guy's absolute power. Ellen and her gang, Yume's party, and a wizard named Mayulan clings to me. Hey Guildmaster, do you think we can escape? Asked Ellen. We won't betray Tempest if we escaped, no. I mean Rimuru-san and Shizu-san will fully understand. We were faced with an unfortunate opponent. An opponent that could never be beaten. I looked at the wizard. Mayulan seems like she has something to say. Ellen is right, Tempest is already in the attention of some demon lords. But, I, a former subordinate of Demon Lord Clayman, did not expect that the oldest and strongest demon lord will hold hostility on Tempest. It is truly an unfortunate case. After that line of thought, I became more convinced. But, there are still some questions we need to ponder. Is escaping possible? I muttered. The one who approached us was Shuna. Yes, it is possible. You need to go to Vesta's laboratory. There are spatial circles placed there. Please escape. It was uncalled for. We were wondering if fleeing from Tempest counted as betraying them. Shuna, on the other hand, was the one who urged us to flee. She bows her head. It is truly a disaster that befell on Tempest. I think Lord Rimuru and Lady Shizu will feel the same. So, please escape while you still can. Shuna demonstrated to us how we can escape. The town has been covered with an anti-magic barrier. But Vesta's lab is outside of that barrier. Fortunately, the neutral zone barrier does not interfere with a spatial-related spell. Demon Lord Guy was occupied at the moment and seems like do not care which civilians survive or not. How about you, Shuna-san? She shook her head. Seems like I have been marked as a treasure, therefore escaping was not an option for me. Are you saying goodbye? Ellen asked desperately. Shuna just blankly stared at her and then answered. We do not have a choice, but do not fret. We still haven't given up. We shall await our Lord's return. Ellen really wanted to bring along Shuna at least. But, I grabbed Ellen's shoulder and reprimanded her. We can still help, but not in that way. But, at this rate our friends will. I will not live without them along. If that's the case, I'll stay in Tempest. Listen Ellen, if we do not survive then we cannot have our only chance to help Tempest. I shouted, shutting her up. Listen, young lady, I know you are exasperated. We are also longing to befriend these friendly creatures. We also like to explore this coexistence of monsters. But, no. I will not leave Shizu-san, Rimuru-san, Shuna-san, Rigard-san, Ranga-san, and others. I will Newt. While crying and sobbing Ellen shouted at us. Idiot, if we still carry those feelings then none of us will survive to help Tempest's refuges. No. Caval gave a little chop to Ellen's neck from behind. It was not a fatal shot but made Ellen instantly unconscious. Caval and Gildo proceed to carry Ellen's unconscious body. Let's go, Guildmaster. Caval was also saddened by the unfortunate turn of events but merely answered blankly. I faced Shuna. Once we escaped Tempest, I promised to take care of Sir Rimuru's refuges. Shuna-san, stay alive. After that remark, Shuna just nodded at us and we began running toward Vesta's lab. Hollow diamond, hollow diamond, hollow diamond. After Benimaru's return to Tempest, he immediately dashed toward Guy Crimson. Poof! A tiny girl with one eye appeared. Ouch! When Benimaru dashed in, Ives the colorless devil was left on the central plaza. What's happening here? As Ives wandered around the central plaza, she saw many corpses of Tempestians lying on the ground. What's happening here? What's happening here? Ives was afraid, Ives was angry, Ives was mad. Who made this? These thoughts repeated in her mind. What is Ives? That's right, I am created by the Great Spirit Breach 1,000 years ago. But, wasn't Ives a demon? So why am I so angry seeing these corpses? Ives is a devil, so I should enjoy these negative emotions. Something inside of me is swirling with pure rage. I will never forgive the person who has done this. What was that? Ives sensed someone special. I made a promise to Noir that I will behave. However, I cannot help myself from longing for the presence of that very individual. I began flying away from Tempest, in search of that individual. Hollow diamond, hollow diamond, hollow diamond. In instant, the executives of Tempest have fallen. Velzard, Guy muttered. Velzard understands the pretexts of what is meant. But Velzard haughtily answered it. Yes, you don't have to tell me every single thing. Velzard snaps her fingers and in an instant, all of the executives of Tempest have been enclosed into a supreme ice barrier. Each of the barriers has been so absolute that demon lords in the council will not be able to break through it easily. Yet, Velzard made it like it was magic that she can employ endlessly. These barriers are sturdy, as expected of you. Guy praised. Oh please, this is nothing exceptional. Velzard responded. Now then, let's clean things up. Guy pointed one finger in the sky. Now then, let's do it with a trump card I have been saving up. A new advanced demonic magic system born from the spiritual breach 1,000 years ago. The entire Tempest from the ground all the way to the outer space has been covered with a black miasma. Abyssal magic. Arzeth. The dark miasma that covered the entire country was making the space within smaller. The space covered in miasma was compressed for each second. The space was shrinking as the spell reduced Tempest's country to oblivion. It took only 5 seconds for Tempest to be transformed into a single singularity. However, the miasma that Guy has cast began to spread again. The miasma spread further until Tempest regained its shape as if nothing happened. The inhabitants are alive and the buildings and surroundings of the country have come back to normal. Guy was taken aback. It was not how the magic was supposed to work. Someone has erased his command over the abyssal magic. The miasma diffused and faded from the sky to the earth. A person has been revealed outside of the miasma. She had silver blue hair and fiery crimson eyes. She was dressed in white and, most significantly, she was staring down at Guy, pinning him as her opponent. Guy and Velzard tried to decipher what is happening in front of them. They are not terrified a bit, but the lady in front of them feels different. Unlike their previous opponent, they have opted to be cautious. The battle has not started yet, but the psychological warfare was won by Seal single-handedly. Yo, you are the ruler of the monsters. Demon Lord Rimuru. Seal was not given any information. Guy also noticed that this lady's movements are extremely calculated. Before introductions, I would like to change battlegrounds. Seal requested. What? Kahahaha, you got guts. Don't fuck with me, answer my damn question. Tempest's capital is extremely inconvenient in battle. I can isolate you into an imaginary space. But, fighting you there with me being advantageous will not let you succumb to a sense of defeat. Seal has dropped a bomb on Guy. She refers that before anything else she had anticipated that battle is inevitable and she is also looking forward to defeating him. Are you looking down on me? No, I am trying to calculate what is the most plausible answer for you to be humiliated. What Seal is uttering is a complete mystery to Guy. But, Seal gave an explanation that surprised Velzard and Guy. If I defeated you instantly, you will just come back and challenge Tempest again, don't you? That's why I am calculating what is the most plausible way to humiliate you. So by definition, you are thinking of defeating me and on top of that you humiliating me. Do you think that is possible? Finally understanding what Seal meant, Guy clarified the sentence to Seal. I am more troubled on thinking on how I can't. Kahahaha, okay then, show me your way. I am not planning on leaving Tempest. If I fight, Tempest will be reduced to barren lands. So, what do you do? Guy looked into Seal's eyes, but had seen no fear. Instead, Guy saw as if Seal already have calculated everything. I'm just gonna drag you away. Seal pressed Guy's neck continually as she soared at a staggering rate from continent to continent in seconds. Guy was helpless to protect himself. Seal did it at such a high level that Guy couldn't understand what Seal was doing. Seal's method was dumbfounding and complicated, but it was the way in which she pushed Guy to the brink that sent Guy flying. Guy was puzzled. Seal not only grabbed him unhindered, but she also did it with a level of might that Guy had not anticipated. Magical emission may be manipulated at will by powerful individuals. Some people, like Rimuru, entirely conceal their magicals, while others, like Guy, use their magicals to fool their opponents. However, when they perform powerful spells and amplifications, magical leaking is inescapable. During Seal and Guy's flight, however, Ciel's magicals remain zero as if she is not using any. Seal hurled Guy towards the ground. This land will do. Guy slammed into an ice mountain, flattening the entire mountain with a single collision. Velzard follows suit. After crashing, Guy was greeted by both of his maids. Lord Guy, Lord Guy. They simultaneously checked on Guy. Misery and rain. Guy looked around and saw Velzard approaching with Tempest executives still on floating ice barriers. Seems like her power is not a joke. Will you let me join? No, at least not yet. Fufu, she dragged you from Tempest to the ice continent. Yeah. Guy cracked his neck and steeled himself for battle. I sense my devils getting ready for war. But, that lady is mine alone, tell them to stand by. Seal was waiting for Guy, hovering above the ice continent. Guy flew towards Seal, leaving Velzard and the crew. Sorry for the late introduction, I am Seal. My lord's only legal wife. My titles mean nothing to you. So, I am Guy Crimson, one of the Devil Primordials. You can attack if you want anytime now, since I will humiliate you. Guy accepted Ciel's provocation with, very well. Guy began by introducing his supreme strength. Without any weapons or magic, Guy launches his fists toward Ciel. Each blow created a soundwave, but Ciel is deflecting it without breaking a sweat. While Guy is pursuing Ciel, Ciel evaded as if it were child's play, all the while humiliating Guy with her words. Do you think you can win? Guy leaps and kicks Ciel's face. Ciel dodged by bending her body down. What are you, already giving up? I want to win in a way that you will not defy me again. Ciel is running her mouth while she is fighting the strongest demon lord. It was a surprise to Guy and the spectators of the ice continent seeing their battle. Especially the devils who serve Guy Crimson. I'm gonna say the same to you. Aren't you gonna attack? Guy Crimson was fighting back. Guy charges a jab with crystallized energy on tip of his fist. You can have Velzard join, I can take both of you at the same time. Kahahaha, as if that's possible. I treated Velzard as an equal, here I thought someone impressive was born. But, in the end, you are just an idiot. He launches the jab at point-blank range. It was a full-power jab that Guy have launched. The punch reaches its mark, hitting Ciel's face. Ciel, on the other hand, seemed unmoved and peered straight through Guy. Guy's brow furrowed in disbelief. He launched a full-power jab. Guy didn't use anything under his sleeves, but it was still a full-power punch that he packed full of deadly demonic magnitude of magicals. Taking that blow, consequently, will kill most of the demon lords in the council. While Guy's adversary in front of him was gazing at him as if it was not painful at all. I am serious, you should have let Velzard join in. Ciel grabbed Guy's arm. Guy tried leaping away, but Ciel is holding him firm. Let me show you what a percentage of my power really is. Ciel muttered. Get off me. Guy tried kicking Ciel, but she repelled the attack with her other arm. Guy bitterly grinded his teeth. He cast dozens of spells at point-blank range, but Ciel was able to demolish them before they could reach her. I've finally recognized how powerful you are. But, this is not impressive at all. Guy remarked. You are too focused on me. Why don't you look at your beloved country? Ciel informed Guy while still holding him firm. In response, Guy looked below his ice continent. His beautiful continent's perpetual ice is fast melting. Velzard was throwing spells and leaking her aura at an exponential rate to keep the ice from evaporating. But, despite Velzard's efforts, the entire continent's ice was eventually going to melt. What's happening? Do not fret. With Velzard's power, everything will be repaired in just a few days. Was that your doing? Ciel closed her eyes. Yes, I was battling Velzard while we were fighting. I used diverse spells to destroy the endless ice continent. And Velzard is handling it. I'm curious to see who will win, a portion of Master Rimuru's strength or Velzard the true ice dragon. To be honest, I'm curious to see how Master's power has developed. But, because Master does not fight unless the occasion calls for it, we will never know Master's full capability. Ciel and Rimuru are the same people with two distinct personas. Ciel concluded that there was even a new opponent from the void termed insect person by Rimuru. She came to the conclusion that Rimuru would win. Because this restart was already on Ciel's horizon. There are things Ciel has hidden from Rimuru, and it was also the fact that Ciel intended this restart to happen in the first place. Bastard, Guy muttered in front of Ciel. Guy concluded that it was futile to attack Ciel even at point-blank range. Velzard's hard efforts are all in vain. She continued to freeze everything in place, but the ice continued to melt due to Ciel's absolute spell. Don't worry, after the battle, you may rebuild it with Velzard in a matter of days. You are aware of this, which is why you are not enraged. First and foremost, you are the ones that elicit animosity. You have no right to be angry. Seal explained. Guy couldn't be furious since he planned to first destroy Tempest. But because Guy had never done someone else's bidding before, it was a new experience for him. Seal was the first to make Guy do her bidding. Seal calmly let go of Guy's hand. I hate to admit it, but that was impressive. Your appreciation was not relevant to me. I don't want to be recognized as your enemy. I am just here to humiliate you. Seal entered a battle stance and geared herself to be on the offensive. Guy also steeled himself to continue the battle. The battle continues as Seal dashed in toward Guy. Guy was now employing numerous tricks in his sleeves, but none is working against Seal. Throughout all of Ciel's moves, she has only delivered a powerful single kick to Guy's chin. Guy couldn't comprehend the magnitude of force she used in that kick. However, it was a spiritual body-destroying blow. Seal made certain that Guy felt as much anguish as possible while not killing him. Seal estimated the amount of force required to avoid killing Guy. Because it was the other way around, Guy was completely perplexed and upset. Normally, you will calculate how much it will take to kill your opponent. Meanwhile, Seal is peering down at Guy, calculating how much it takes not to kill him. Guy is perplexed as to how Seal does this so lightly. The most logical answer is that Seal possesses power well beyond Guy's. But, if that's the case, another question emerges. Seal was a mystery entity since she possessed a power that could not be attained by random life forms. The battle began to cross the catastrophe class threshold, where spells do not need to be stated and may be cast quickly. Each spell is likewise true dragon level and has the power to destroy whole countries. While Guy improves his fighting, Seal maintains his power over him. Seal easily and quickly avoided each of Guy's blows, while Guy tries to avoid Ciel's attacks. And there are certain Ciel assaults that are effective. Each of the magical or physical strikes that hit Guy were powerful, and even a catastrophe class like Guy may knock him unconscious if he is not careful. Are you beginning to ponder? Do you want to know what exactly I am master? Shut up. Guy urges Seal to shut up. Others will undoubtedly heed Guy's warning since he was on the verge of becoming enraged. Seal, on the other hand, was not afraid of Guy. If Rimuru had known Seal was battling Guy in this manner, Rimuru would have gone insane by now. However, Rimuru is not present. Seal could do whatever she wanted to fulfill the conclusion she selected best for her and her master. Despite Guy's warning, Seal still went on her way. Your game with Rudra is childish. It does not matter anymore. When Seal dropped the name Rudra, Guy was curious about how Seal had that information at hand. Guy stopped attacking and then asked, "Who told you that?" Instead of responding to Guy's query, Seal has bombarded Guy with remarks that should have been private for Guy alone. And Seal made a point of questioning them. There is no need for you to know. You are not an important piece for Master's game right now. After that statement, Seal went on to show what she is capable of. Guy rages and erupted the dreadful magic flares that can instantly kill archdemons. However, Seal is on the attack. Seal dodges these powerful flares. I summon you, Lord of the Spirit Rimuru. Seal ejected a yellow light that transmuted into a life form. It began to have a body made from strong elemental magicules. Seal has called forth the Lord of the Spirits. It was a flesh and blood Rimuru. More significantly, she possesses the same overpowering power as Guy. The spirit then attacked the outraged Guy, while Seal dropped from the heavens to confront Velzard. What boundless extent of power! Velzard muttered. Rain and Misery attacked from the left and right, respectively. They utilize force and speed much beyond the Devil's hierarchy, as well as many magical circles, to seize Seal, who infiltrated the ice continent on her own. Ciel's stomping caused the ice mountains to explode. It emitted a tremendous cloud of smoke. Misery and Rain were unable to do anything substantial since they couldn't see Seal through the smokescreen and opted to leap up the skies for better eyesight. They wandered their eyes from above, but Seal seized them in the neck and flung them around like Guy. Seal and Velzard are the last two people remaining standing face to face. Seal began to make her way toward Velzard. And before Velzard realized it, Seal was successful in retrieving Tempest's executives and dismantling Velzard's pompous isolation barrier. I have introduced myself to Guy during our battle, but I guess I need to introduce myself to you. I am Seal, Master Rimuru's only legal wife. Seal pointed her fingers to Velzard. A speck of nihility energy was in that pointed fingers. This is nothingness. With this magic, even you, the oldest true dragon, will never see the daylight. Velzard has become immobile, or, at the very least, she can't stop Seal, who casually strides toward her. This is due to, Seal made Velzard taste her own medicine. Velzard has been slowed and her time has been frozen. Velzard witnessed terror for the first time. True dragons are arrogant because they are revered as immortal deities. However, on Ciel's hand, there is a chance that the true dragon known as Velzard will vanish forever. And Velzard was horrified by Ciel's expression that she will not hesitate to cast this spell. Take this advice, never meddle with us anymore. Ice White Dragon Velzard's dragon factor has been successfully copied. Ciel almost got struck by Guy, who leapt from behind. More importantly, Guy has summoned his sword world. Ciel leapt away and Guy manages to distract Ciel. Velzard's restriction has been lifted, albeit Ciel's intention was already achieved. Velzard, help me, slow this individual down. Guy swallowed his pride and asked for Velzard's help. However, Velzard answered him with, I can't. Velzard fell on her knees while shaking. What do you mean you can't? Just do it. I really can't. When I noticed you were at the disadvantage earlier, I am already slowed her down by billions of times. Velzard answered while still on her knees. What? Velzard stood up. Yes, she is fighting like that despite those restrictions. Damn, during our battle earlier, I've employed all that I can call under my sleeve. Wait, is this true? I thought you were messing around. I've already summoned my god-class sword world just to beat that counterfeit Ramirez. Boosted my power with the maximum I could with Satan, and I could not see a single skill she has employed during this battle. Do you mean? Yeah, it was hard to imagine, but she was not going all out. That, is she the one who was melting the eternal ice? Yeah, no way, that magic. I may have an idea. Velzard whispered with shock. Velzard was unable to stop the melting of the ice continent, but she explored what had occurred. And the conclusion she arrived at was stunning. Primitive magic. Quote. Exclamation mark quote. Guy was awestruck when Velzard whispered. But wasn't that, my brothers? Ciel sat on one of the final ice pillars in the ice continent, surrounded by ice barriers, where Tempest executives were asleep. Ciel had already guaranteed them before they can even consider a theory. If you are thinking I am Veldanova, you are mistaken. It's time to put in the final nail. Velzard unleashed glacier tridents to the skies into Ciel. Each glacier was the size of at least one fortress. Velzard is firing at least 1,000 at a time. Her massive magical count allows her to perform this on the spur of the moment. Meanwhile, Ciel began to cast one ability. Above Ciel, a spherical ball of flames formed. The ball of flames advances towards Velzard, devouring all of Velzard's glacier with a swing of the palm. The glaciers had no chance and were destroyed as the ball made an impact. The ball goes kaboom. The ice continent completely melted. Velzard, Misery, Rain, and the Devil Army were completely unconscious after facing that attack head-on. It was not an ordinary ball of fire but was composed of primitive magic. Or the absolute magic. A rainbow-colored blade penetrated Ciel's chest from behind. Kahahaha, finally got you. Guy Crimson took advantage of Ciel's distraction and sneaked up behind. Ciel, on the other hand, slugged Guy in the face with her elbow. This, however, was Ciel's most devastating blow during this battle. She has transformed the bulk of magicals into physical strength. Ciel employed Stardust Magicule, which made this simple elbow blow lethal. She also cursed Guy Crimson, a spell that increases the duration and severity of Guy's agony. Guy began to vomit, and his magical circuits are in shambles. It felt as though Guy's spiritual body was in perpetual torment, which was worse than being poisoned. And the horror was incomprehensible since Ciel enhanced the duration and extent of the anguish. Guy believed it was worse than death at the time. Ciel, on the other hand, has made it clear that she will not murder Guy. Guy's spiritual body eventually succumbed and he lost consciousness. Ciel used a Justice King Michael created spell to imprison Guy and Velzard. Ciel shuts her eyes for the last time and does a profound calculation. True perception, unlike omniscience, was not absolute. My master couldn't see it, but we were in grave danger. With the assistance of true perception, I knew everything there was to know about the timelines past. I believe we are in greater danger than ever before. Whatever happens, I'll continue to assist Master. The Great White Light, the Cosmic Gods, Demon Lord Kazarim, Shizu's exponential growth, Insect Person, Lucia, the Quintessential One, True Deity, Master Rimuru, and Stellar King Veldanova. They are all connected by a single string of events. To be continued.